Hey y'all, welcome back. So in this video I'm gonna be showing you how to reshape and file your nail after the acrylic application. So if you haven't already watched my video on how to prep your nail, how to apply and shape your nail, and how to apply the acrylic, I'll be sure to leave the link down below so you guys can go check those out, where I'm showing you exactly step by step on how to do those things. So what you want to do first is basically just go in with your 80/80 hand file, and we're just going to go in and reshape. Of course, it's already that shape that we wanted from the beginning. However, after applying the acrylic, I'm sure you guys can see those little rough edges, and it kind of rounded the nail off a little bit. So we're just going to go in and do the same thing that we did at first, except for this time it's going to be a lot faster. So we're going to go in and just same thing at a 90-degree angle, filing both sides. Remember, make sure that you're holding your file really straight against the sidewall. Now, I have seen, like, I remember I did a class when I was in, I believe, Atlanta, and my student was filing the nails, and the way she was filing, it's like, because she wanted the tip, of course, to be more narrow, she literally had her file right here and just filing back and forth. And when you do that, you're just going to be rounding your corners up. So what you want to do is always have your hand file against the entire nail. But of course, if you're wanting to make your tip more narrow, then you would just apply more pressure on that part, but still always making sure that you're still touching the entire tip at all times. That way it doesn't get uneven. So after we filed the sides really good, that's it. We're gonna go in and just do the same thing for the free edge. Again, we don't want any gaps on either side, so just going back and forth until we get that perfect shape that we want. Alrighty, so just like that. I think for the most part it's pretty straight. Sometimes I have a little bit of trouble filing or shaping my own nails, y'all. It definitely can be a struggle when you're doing your own. So just like that. So again, that was an 80/80 hand file. And same thing when it comes to your hand files. The lower the number, the more coarse the the file is going to be, and then the higher the number, the finer it's going to be. So next we're going to go in with the e-file again, except for this time I'm going to switch out the drill piece for my extra fine drill bit. I do have these available on my website, and then this time I am going to turn up the speed up just a little bit to, let me see, like 8,000 RPMs, and we'll see how I feel. So whenever I'm filing the nail after the acrylic application, the first thing I do is file underneath the nail. So see how it's maybe like, that's how thick it is right now. And so this is basically just gonna thin it out just a little bit if we need to. So for me, sometimes, like, even though like I don't have to file, I think it's just more of a habit, and it's just become one of the steps that I always do. So I file underneath, literally just with like the middle of your drill bit. And then after that, I focus on my cuticle area, because the nail is already super nice and smooth. Like, I don't have any bumps and lumps, like none of that. I just want to focus on the cuticle area because we don't want any lifting. So I always go from the right side, working my way all the way around the left side with the tip of the drill bit, and I'll show you from the side how I'm doing this. So going all the way around, and as you can see, I'm holding the side of my finger with my pinky. I do the same thing when I'm working on clients, and then that way it gives me some stability, because if I'm just going in there like this, like, y'all, I literally would have blood running down my fingers because I have no stability. So I always hold my finger with my pinky, or just position my pinky on the side of my finger. Like I said, I do the same thing on my clients, and then that way, like, I have full control over what I'm doing. So just going around, and then you're able to see where, like, right now you're not really able to see, like, you can see the acrylic, and so we want it to be super nice and smooth, and so that's why we're going around there. And then also basically just sealing the acrylic That way there's no gaps at all between the natural nail and the acrylic, because we don't want to get any lifting at all. So I'm just going to go back and forth. Like, there's really not a number of times that I go back and forth. I just do it until I feel like it looks nice and smooth. And then of course I want to make sure that it don't look like I already need a fill, you know, because I don't want to file too much, because if you do, like I said, it'll look like it's already time for a fill. So just going back and forth, and I really do it until I'm able to see where my cuticle area is, where the natural nail is, and then where the acrylic is. That way I know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then of course just filing the rest of the nail. So again, whenever I was filing the cuticle area, I was using like the tip of it at this angle right here, and then to file the rest of the nail, I just filed down the nail, and I'm using like the middle of the drill bit. And this right here is just to make sure, like, even though the nail is already nice and smooth, this is just going to make sure that everything is nice and even. And of course, as you're doing this, you're going to be watching what you're doing. That way you know where you need to file more. And then of course, if you do have lumps and bumps and stuff, then you will have to spend more time during the filing part. But since I don't have any, then I just make sure that I seal that cuticle area, and then that I file the entire nail. Alrighty, so just like that, this is what my nail looks like. So after we finish filing the nail, this is the thickness. That's how the tip look. Everything is nice and even. And then after that, we're gonna go in with the buffer. So with the buffer, we're basically just gonna get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from the hand file or the e-file. So we're just going in and literally just going back and forth. The way that I hold my buffer, I just put it in between my index finger and my middle finger, and then I put my thumb over the top of it, and I'm able to get a nice grip, so it's not going anywhere, and I'm able to get a really good buff. And basically just going all the way around the nail, just filing or buffing back and forth. So it's like I'm going in this motion. It's almost like a circular motion, like kind of. Make sure that you get around that cuticle area really good. Alrighty, so after we finish buffing it, sometimes I feel like it take away from my shape just a little bit, especially the free edge. So I just go in with my hand file and just give it another like super quick file to basically just bring that shape back to life. Because honestly, your shape will make or break your set. After that, we're just gonna dust the nail off. And then I'm gonna go ahead, and I don't have any alcohol wipes, but you can just wipe the nail off with an alcohol wipe, or you can wash your hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wash it off. Alrighty, y'all, so after I wash my finger off, this is how the nail looks like. So as you guys can see, we have a nice apex right here going on. We have a nice thickness at the tip to where it's not too thick or too thin, and then everything is nice and smooth. It looks really good around that cuticle area. And so next, you can go in with any design, bling, gel polish, whatever your client wants.